women in history never heard of and wouldn't be surprised if you haven't either. Today, let's talk about, well, you've probably heard of the John Dillingers and Bugsy Siegels from the past. But have you heard of Marm Mandelbaum? Here's your chance. Marm Mandelbaum was born in 1825 and passed in 1894. She was the queen of fences, but not the white picket kind. Marm, real first name Frederica, was a Jewish German immigrant in 1840s New York. Like so many other German immigrants, she and her hubby settled in Little Germany, in the Lower East Side. At the time, America was in the throes of what Mark Twain called the Gilded Age. You know, the wealthy glittered with jewels and gold, while fucking over the people they employed. That can only be maintained through corruption. Doesn't sound familiar at all, does it? In the real world, where people did not wipe their asses with cash, the streets were filthy and crowded. If you were lucky, you might find a horse carcass, 'cause nobody could afford to drag the damn thing away. A lot of folks didn't know when or if they would eat again. Then, Panic of 1857. Businesses failed, banks closed down, tens of thousands lost their jobs. So the gilded wouldn't have to suffer. Orphaned kids, some as young as 6, roamed the streets looking for food and shelter. Well, when things get that bad, income by any means, especially reliable, is pretty important. So a lot of people, kids are people too, were getting really good at petty crime. That wasn't always enough. Enter Marm Mandelbaum. She was a shrewd businesswoman and started dealing in, well, everything. She started with a dry goods store at the front of a building she leased to cover the activities in the back. She was operating as a fence. Think Pawn Stars, but slightly less honest. She dealt with anyone, but she had a big soft spot for criminally gifted women. They weren't wasting their lives as wives or maids. Marm also offered services. Arrested? Marm's got attorneys. Going to trial? Marm's got witnesses. Headed to jail? Marm's got bail. Want to run a heist? Yeah, Marm's got you. But do not fuck her over. Just one simple example. One of her properties became hers because she bailed out a dickhead who then didn't show up to court. She had quite a few more properties, including warehouses. Hell, even her own home had a chimney with a false back. Gotta hide shit when the cops come a-callin'. Marm knew that a vital part of business is cultivating relationships, not just with your employees. She had law enforcement, prosecutors, and judges in her pocket. They liked all that bribe money. She also opened a crime school for both boys and girls. I'm not kidding. Well, unless every one of my sources got it wrong. Her instructors were professionals in all things crime. Newbies learned how to pickpocket. More advanced students learned to rob, scam, blackmail. You get it. If they were extra good, they got to work for Marm directly. Alas, and as they say, all good things must come to an end. It's a bullshit fucking statement. The rich insisted Marm was the heart of corruption. And if she was gone, so would corruption be. See, people have always been gullible. Enter the Pinkerton Agency. An undercover agent sold her a marked bolt of silk. Cops, arrested, paid her bond. House arrest with 24-hour surveillance by Pinkerton agents. Marm wasn't stupid. She'd wave to them when she left for her attorney's office. They'd follow her. Wait. She'd wave again as she went back home. So they weren't suspicious on one particular morning. Same routine. But she didn't leave the office. Her maid was going home. As her. And Marm was going to Canada. No extradition treaty. Marm passed in 1894. Still in Canada. Per her request, her coffin was sent to New York for burial. But was it really her? Some speculated the coffin was filled with rocks, and she moved on to another new life. There's no confirmation either way. But whatever was in her coffin, her people honored her, because several dozen people reported having been pickpocketed at the funeral. It's estimated that during her career, more than $1 million of product passed through her businesses. That's about $34 million today. So a new life isn't outside the realm of possibility. Frederica became known as Marm, not because of criminal activity. It was because she acted like a mother to anyone who needed her, and often gave them what the economy made sure their mothers could not. If Marm had been a man, you'd probably know her as a mob boss, maybe a godfather. Instead, she was a queen of more than just fences.